This
what is
conference will now be recorded.
automation testing, and what is the purpose of this automation testing, and when you have to go for automation testing, and what are its advantages, and what are the different things we do discuss in our course. I'll let you know one by one. So actually, generally you know about that. Generally, software testing can be done in two ways. To test the quality of the software, means whether the software is satisfying the client requirements or not, and all functionalities are working properly or not. I can able to test in two ways. One is a manual testing, and other one is automation testing. So manual testing means what? We do perform the entire test process only by following some manual approaches. Means I don't use any tool or I don't use any program to perform my test. Simply, I'll follow some manual approaches to perform my test. Whereas automation testing means the same functionality test you are going to perform with the help of some tool and some program called test script. By executing that script, the test is going to be performed and it is going to let us know whether the test is passed or failed. Say for example, I have some requirement like this. I'm having some website here. There is a website called as ebay.com site. And what I want to do is, I want to search for some products in some category. So I'm going to select cameras and photo category. And here I'm searching for Sony products and say search. Now I got the Sony related products. This is what our manual testing is. Generally, to prepare before going to do our manual test execution, first what we do, we are going to prepare one test case. Then we are going to do test execution. Then we are going to fill test result. You can follow whatever test case format you know you can follow, because we do have different formats of test cases. Company to company it will vary, but commonly there are few things like step number. I'm just giving a part of the test case. Step description, test data, what is your expected result, what is your actual result. These things are common for every test case. So in my case, what is the functionality I'm testing? Product search in ebay.com site I'm doing. So how you do product search in ebay.com site is some steps you are going to follow. My first step is open eBay site. Second step, select category from drop down. Next, enter product name in the search text box. Next, you click on the search. So this is how the steps in the test case is going to do. And what is the test data you are going to use? I'm going to type http ebay.com, and the category I'm selecting as cameras and photo, and the product name I'm going to type as, let's say, Sony. And what is your expected result when you click on the search icon? Related products under specified category, should be displayed. Whether that is happening or not, using your test execution, you are going to fill that actual result and result. So we did the test execution. Now related categories are displayed. Under related category, products are displayed. Only camera related products are coming. So that you can say actual result, expected result is coming and the result is pass. When it is pass, well and good, no problem. Suppose your test is failed, then what we do? We are going to send a defect report to the dev team. The dev team is going to fix the problem and modified build will be reached to you. On the modified build, I will perform retesting. Means previously identified defect was fixed. Whether the defect was really fixed or not, I am testing. That's called retesting. So to do the retesting, what I should do? Again, I have to follow the same steps. If it is manual testing, again manually have to perform. Suppose that it is failed again. Again you send back the defect report. The dev team will fix it. They are going to fix it. Again we have to retest it. So if it is a manual testing procedure, entire steps we have to perform again and again manually. 3-4 steps, fine. Suppose it's a 15-step process. So all the 15 steps repeatedly you have to perform, which is a time-consuming process. This is the situation where you go for automation testing. So automation testing is used mainly whenever you are performing retesting and regression testing. Means repeated testing wherever same test is going to be executed again and again. Instead of doing the test execution manually, I can make use of some automation tool to perform my test. That is what is nothing but automation testing. So for one-time testing, manual testing you prefer. For repeated testing, automation testing you prefer. Why? For example, the same test if I have to conduct through automation, then you are going to prepare some test script for it. For example, I prepared one test script. We'll discuss how to write all these scripts later on. Just I already have some test script. I'm going to show you that. How to open the browser with ebay.com site, how to select a value from the drop-down control, how to type Sony in the search text box, how to click on the search button. For the corresponding steps in the test case, script you are going to write. 4 steps, 4 lines of code I am writing. Now, whenever the test has to be conducted, simply I can able to run this test. First time I'll have some effort to write the program. Once you write that program, any number of times you can able to call it. I'm executing that program. See what is going to happen. Just sit back, it will do everything. It will open the browser automatically. In that browser, it will open that ebay.com site. And in that it is going to select a value called cameras and photo from the drop down control, and it will type Sony in the search text box and search for those products automatically. So how many number of times you want to do the test? Every time I can simply open this program, I will run the program, my test execution will be done and result is going to be displayed. It is launching that test. So test execution is started. So running the test. So opening the browser. With the eBay.com site. Selecting cameras and photo from the category. Typing Sony in the search text box. Clicking on the search button. And the related products are going to be displayed. Like that, the script you can able to write, execution will be done, test result is going to be displayed. This is what is the use of automation testing. First time you have some effort. Once you write the script, automatically how many number of times you want you can able to execute, which is very helpful for retesting and regression testing. Got it? So there are some drawbacks with our manual testing, which are going to be rectified by automation testing like this. So the first ever drawback with manual testing is when you perform the retesting and regression testing, it is a time consuming process because step by step you have to perform manually, which will take more time. This is avoided by automation testing with the help of some test script. The program, what I written over there is what you call as test script. So first time you are going to write it, any number of times you can able to call it. And the second issue with the database, this manual testing is I cannot perform test suite execution using manual testing. Test suite execution means I cannot able to run more than one test at a time. Test suite means collection of tests is what we call as test suite. By using manual testing, one test at a time you can able to perform. I can't run more than one test at a time manually. One after other I can able to do it. Whereas in automation testing, we have some framework called TestNG framework. With the help of that, we can able to do some configuration of multiple tests to be executed, as well as group testing, dependency testing, lot of test management you can able to do with the help of TestNG. Next, when coming to our manual testing, there is some difficulty in performing something called as data-driven testing. Data-driven testing means executing the same functionality again and again for different input. For example, a login page is there. I want to test the same login page for different credentials like valid username, valid password, valid username, invalid password, valid password, invalid username, invalid password, like 4 choices I'm having. So same test I have to conduct for 4 inputs. So that kind of testing is what we call data-driven testing, which is difficult to perform in manual case. Why? Because in manual testing case, I will maintain those details in Excel file or database, fetch the first record, based on that I'll execute the test. Again take the second set of data, based on that I'll have to perform the test. So every time going to the Excel file, fetching the first record, performing the test, it is very difficult. 3-4 records it's fine. Suppose 10,000 records I'm having who has to be tested, then it is a very difficult process. This can be done quite easily with a program in automation testing. I'll write a program with a loop to fetch one by one record from the Excel file. Based on that, performing the test execution I get. So what are all the drawbacks we are going to encounter with manual testing can be simply avoided with the help of automation testing. That is the main important advantage of automation testing. All the drawbacks of manual testing can be avoided. Any questions till now?
No, not from my side.
Yeah. We have different kinds of automation tools to perform different kinds of automation testing. So these are the different automation testing tools we are having. Different stages we use our automation testing. We are going to use automation testing for doing functional testing. So functional testing tools we are going to have. And we do something called as performance testing through automation. So we have performance testing tools. And we do something called project management with automation. So project management tools will be there. As well as we have something called as mobile automation testing tools. Mobile testing tools. So what tools comes under this functional automation testing? This is the most important activity we do as a tester, functional automation testing. For that we have QTP, also called Quick Test Professional, or UFT nowadays we'll call it as Unified Functional Tester. And we have something called RFT, Rational Functional Tester. And we have something called SIP, the course what you are saying. And for performance testing, we have something called as JMeter, Load Runner, RPT, Rational Performance Tester. And for project management, we have QC, called Quality Center. Nowadays, we'll call it as ALM, Application Lifecycle Management. And we have something called Jira, Rally, lot of things are there. And for mobile automation testing, we have Appian, iOS driver. Appian is for testing both Android and iOS devices. And iOS driver is for testing iOS devices. So these are the different kinds of automation tools at different stages we are having. So what we are discussing in our course is functional automation testing using Selenium. See, around 4 or 5 years back, QTP is having very huge market when compared to Selenium. These are the competitors in the market. Now Selenium is start gaining the market of QTP because of the facilities it is providing when compared to QTP there. First of all, this QTP or UFT is a licensed software. You have to purchase the license from HP. Then only you can able to make use of it. Whereas Selenium is an open source. So mainly what client is going to look for? Cost. So if he has to use software testing using QTP, he has to purchase the license. Whereas with the Selenium, it is not required. It is an open source. Simply you can able to download and make use of it. No need to purchase any license for it. Second, in QTP, I can able to use only few programming languages to write the script. So what it is going to support is QTP is going to support few programming languages like VB script as well as C#.NET to write the script. I'll just showing you the differences between QTP and Selenium. Why we have to opt for Selenium rather than QTP. So as I told, it is a licensed software, whereas it is an open source. Second thing is, Here I can use only few programming languages like VB script or C#.NET to write my script. Whereas in Selenium, you can use object-oriented programming languages like Java or C#.NET or Python or Ruby or Perl, such kind of languages to write the script. And mainly QTP will be used on Windows operating system, whereas Selenium is open source and platform independent. I can use it on Windows computer, Linux computer, Mac computer quite easy. And another thing, QTP is browser compatible. QTP is not browser compatible. Mainly, the websites can be tested using IE browser. Whereas in case of Selenium, it is compatible to most of the browsers, like I can use something called as Chrome browser, I can use Firefox browser, I can use Internet Explorer browser, Safari, Opera, any browser I can use. The main advantage of QTP is it can be used to test desktop-based applications, web applications, and mobile applications. That is the main advantage of Qt. Whereas with Selenium, I can test web applications and mobile applications only. Desktop or Windows-based applications, I cannot test. That is what is the main advantage of Qt. So because of all these advantages, we preferably using Selenium for the functional automation testing. So I can have the facility of using multiple programming languages to write the script, multiple OSs I can use, multiple browsers I can use to conduct my test. That's the reason why nowadays most of the companies are preferring Selenium rather than QTP to implement the automation scripts. So what is this Selenium? Selenium is a platform which is a collection of different tools and frameworks together as a unit. There are three major components what you are going to find in the Selenium. One is Selenium IDE, and the second one is Selenium WebDriver, and the third one is Selenium Grid. These are the three most important components we have inside Selenium. In the starting days of Selenium, Selenium IDE is only existing and it is going to be used to test your applications. But nowadays, mostly we use Selenium WebDriver only to test our application. So we'll concentrate majorly on the Selenium WebDriver only. Just some introduction to IDE we look at, which is not that much important. Just you can able to concentrate on Selenium IDE. So here, what is Selenium IDE? It is simply a record and play tool. Just I am giving overview first. A record and play tool. I can open the tool and start recording. One time, I'll conduct my test manually. Automatically, some test script will be generated. I can save the script. I can open the script whenever I want to run the test. So Selenium IDE is going to generate the automation script automatically based on the recording process you follow. It is easy, but it has some limitations. Only on Firefox and Chrome browser I can use. In other browsers I can't use. And only predefined commands I can use. I can't write my own commands here. So these are the major problems with IDE. That's why next environment called Selenium WebDriver nowadays you are using. Selenium WebDriver is a framework. Means you can't see that WebDriver, but you can use the functionalities of WebDriver, which is a collection of different classes, methods together as a unit. So once we download and install the WebDriver, then you can use the functionalities of it. Like if you take our previous program, what I shown previously, these are all the predefined functionalities of your WebDriver. WebDriver object I created, get method I called to open a browser, and find element method I use it to recognize a control. Send keys method I use it to type a value. Click method I use it to click on the button. Like that, pre-existing functionalities you can able to use by creating, importing. So that's what we learn in our Selenium WebDriver. And finally, Selenium Grid is used for cross-browser testing and cross-platform testing. So this is what is our Selenium components. So to learn our manual testing, QA process knowledge is sufficient for you. But to learn your automation testing, along with manual testing fundamentals, you should have one programming language knowledge, one tool knowledge to become an automation tester. So especially 90% of the companies will use Selenium Java combination. Means the script for the Selenium program you are going to write in the form of Java programming language. You can also use C#, .NET or Python or Ruby, but preferably most of the companies are going to use Selenium with the Java combination. So the prerequisite programming language knowledge you should have to go to an interview or working on Selenium is Java fundamental knowledge you should have. I'll keep in mind that you don't know anything about Java. I'll start from the basics. I'll discuss the concepts in this manner. We'll discuss the course in this manner. Straight away, I don't start Selenium because you can't understand straight away. One programming language knowledge, at least Java, should have a not like in-depth knowledge. We are not Java developers. Just around 10 to 20% of Java is quite sufficient. So I'll begin with Java fundamentals. In that, we'll see the basics module, how to declare variables, how to write some programs, how to use conditional statements, arrays, strings, all the stuff we'll see. Then we'll move on to the most important module, object-oriented programming concepts, how to implement classes, methods, next inheritance, polymorphism, collections, exception handling, all such concepts we'll discuss. We are going to make use of them. So keep in mind, Java is the fundamental knowledge you should have. Don't worry, we are going to discuss the Java topics. Once we are good at them, then we'll mount our main Selenium course. We'll begin with Selenium IDE first. One class will discuss on it. It's not important, but it is there in the syllabus. We'll see that once. And our major concentration will be on Selenium WebDriver. What we learn here, majorly Selenium WebDriver, Selenium is all about identifying objects and operating on them. So how to identify text box, button, drop down control, list box control, checkbox control, radio button control, menus, alerts, frames, different kinds of items are there in the web page. How to recognize them, how to operate on them, all the stuff we'll discuss in Selenium WebDriver. And finally, we see about advanced Selenium topics like how to use TestNG, how to use Maven, how to use Jenkins, and the most important stuff, automation frameworks. Such as Base Object Model, modular driven framework, data driven framework, keyword driven framework, hybrid framework, cucumber framework, such kind of things we will see. So TestEng is a test management tool. Maven is a repository tool. Jenkins is a notification and scheduling tool. Till now, topic wise you are going to learn. But when you join in a company, you don't work topic wise. You are going to work in a process oriented way. Some architecture you are going to follow. That what you are going to learn in automation frameworks. Generally, when you join in a company, any one of the framework model you are going to use to implement your automation testing. So they will ask you in interview time what framework you used in the project, should be able to answer that. Any one framework you use, but in the class we need to discuss all the stuff. So this is what is the Selenium course, what we are going to have. And it will take around 40 to 45 hours of training. Monday to Friday, we do have the classes. Daily 1 hour live class will be there. And I don't open any program or any presentation like that to explain. Today, just to give the demo, I opened that. Every program in the class lively, we are going to do that. So that you get an idea how to approach for a problem, how to solve a problem, you will get an idea. And after end of certain topics, I'll give you some exercises on that to have some hands-on experience on those topics. So by the end of the course, you are in a position to work in a project environment for automation testing. I'll prepare you in such a manner. So what I need from your side is daily practice is required. Whatever we discussed on that day, if you do practice, things will be quite easy for you to understand. So any questions from your side?